Urban Nights Update is next. Coming up, Republicans working hard to pass the tax reform package.
Some frightening news out of North Korea that's changing our theories about missile strikes.
We'll take you to Etsy Live. We'll take you to Etsy Live. That's right, online goes FaceTime as we visit an Etsy fair.
And the story of the hottest holiday toys. And that and more coming up on Urban Nights Update.
Hi there, and thanks for joining us here on Urban Nights Update. I'm Sterling Hawkins. Anthony Silva is joining me, and here's what's happening. The GOP tax reform plan is making progress. On Tuesday, Republican Senator of Tennessee, Bob Corker, and Republican Senator of Wisconsin, Ron Johnson, have been persuaded to vote for the plan. They are backing this day after threatening to withhold support. President Donald Trump went to Capitol Hill to try to make them vote for the tax reform. Corker and Johnson discussed their concerns with Trump about how benefits should not just go to major corporations, but also support small businesses. If economic growth falls short, the tax reform will be reversed. A main concern for many opponents is that tax cuts will contribute to the nation's budget deficit.
Trump expressed his displeasure towards congressional Democrats Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, as the Democratic leaders canceled a meeting with him on Tuesday. Not very smart with the president. However, they boycotted the meeting after Trump tweeted what they considered inappropriate comments about what the Democrats want and referred to them as weak. The Democratic leaders say they will continue to negotiate with the Republican counterparts in Congress, where it appears that they may have more input.
President Donald Trump is receiving major backlash after making a Pocahontas joke with veteran Native Americans who served in World War II. Trump made the comment while standing in front of Andrew Jackson portrait with the White House ceremony was conducted. What makes this relevant is that Jackson was a major reason for the deaths of many Native Americans in 1830. This now adds to the many offensive remarks that President Trump has said over his presidency.
It seems that the North Korean leader is not caving in to the Trump administration warning. According to the Pentagon, North Korea launched what seems to be another intercontinental ballistic missile. After calculations, experts say that Washington, D.C. is now within Jong-un's reach. Prior to the launch, President Trump has said that there are military options available for dealing with North Korea. And Trump's response after the launch was, quote, "We will take care of it," end quote. For the first time since the end of the Cold War, Hawaii will start testing nuclear warning signs and sirens for a very long time. The system's objective is to alert the president and other residents around Hawaii that a nuclear missile is coming. Hawaii is taking the threats from North Korea extremely serious, as they just sit 4,600 miles away from the country. The state will only have 20 minutes to brace for a nuclear impact.
This year's Cyber Monday is entering the record books, with sales soaring compared to previous years. Online transactions were up nearly 17% from last year, with a whopping $6.59 billion. The assumption is that the increase comes from because it's so easy to buy things on mobile devices. Retailers are starting to realize where consumers purchase their items and are making their sites more user-friendly. People make a great living as independent crafters selling their stuff on Etsy.com. Etsy puts on a flea market for buyers and sellers for the first time in San Francisco. Etsy, a website that contains anything that people can create, from lip balms to tote bags. 54 million users have registered to Etsy, almost 2 million sellers, and 45 million items for sale on the Digital Bazaar. They decided to promote local shops in San Francisco by hosting their own flea market at Pier 35.
Do you have a chip card or do you have a swipe card?
I have a chips.
A merchant whose first time being a part of Etsy was at the convention is a commissioned artist. She draws your favorite character, or you as your favorite character. She came with her sister to try something new.
Would do the CTN, the Creative Talent Networking Animation Expo. So shows like that, more animation and comic book leaning. So this is a first, being in an environment where I am selling my artwork in a place that's primarily features a diversity of different like products in general. So it's kind of really neat just to be alongside so many diverse creators making so many different things.
Everyone comes from all over to show their unique skills at Pure 35, and some actually may be closer than you think, doing homemade crafts as a side job. Sean has a printing press that he uses to create different graphics for postcards and greeting cards as a pastime, and works at Academy of Art full-time. He started 4 years ago and has been successful at selling his products.
We took a lot of the stuff that we'd printed for ourselves and threw it up on Etsy just on a whim. And a lot of the stuff that we thought were just kind of like inside jokes or just funny between us resonated with folks on Etsy.
Etsy's main goal is supporting small shops and vendors, so having a physical market brings awareness to all the local stores in San Francisco. In San Francisco, I'm Sterling Hawkins on Urban Nights Update. Almost $3 billion are circulated on Etsy annually, and if you have some time to spare, you can go to Etsy.com.
If you're able to get your hands on a Christmas tree, you might not be willing to pay for it. According to the National Christmas Tree Association, the U.S. is facing a tree shortage, which could drive up prices for consumers. The shortage is due to the recession the country encountered almost 10 years ago. During this, it was a tough time. Farmers weren't planting as many trees in order to save money. Christmas trees take about 10 years to reach their full height of 7 to 8 feet, which is why we're just now feeling the effects. The holiday season wouldn't be the same without toys. Every year there are certain toys that kids go crazy for. Jonathan Navarro shows us what kids are asking for this year.
With Black Friday and Cyber Monday just passing by, people are always seeking to find the best deals on holiday shopping. On top of that list of shopping, of course, toys. Toys are a huge part of Christmas in America, with kids everywhere wanting the coolest and latest toys. I caught up with a shopper who was helping his mom find toys for his little brother.
Last year my little brother was all about those little Tsum Tsum toys, but this year he's all excited about the Pokemon and Hatchimals.
As David said, his brother's interests have changed a bit. His brother went from wanting little creatures like Tsum Tsums to wanting Pokemon and Hatchimals. New toys have stepped on the scene, so it's in with the new and out with the old.
Black Friday is a day where consumers do a lot of their holiday shopping. After this hectic day, some toys sold more than others. Let's check them out.
Aside from the Nintendo Switch, which is a video game system, some of the best-selling toys were Hexbug BattleBots Arena and Hatchimals once again. Hatchimals were a hot toy last holiday season and remain one this year. A new toy that is predicted to be the hottest toy overall this holiday season is Fingerlings. Fingerlings are robot monkeys that attach to fingers and make noise. According to a store manager at Toys R Us, Fingerlings sell out within hours of being put on the sales floor. They're in such high demand that they're currently sold out online as well. Another hot toy is LOL Surprise, which is a giant glittery ball that comes with 50 smaller toys that kids can unwrap. Just like Fingerlings, it's going to be tough to get the LOL Surprise. Good luck to everybody trying to get these hot toys. Make sure to check in with local retailers to see if you can get lucky. In Fresno, I'm Jonathan Navarro for Urban Nights Update.
For the enemy, Atriox. The banished ghost rush builds up and flies into battle. I take aim with the Cyclops.
I'm sure Santa will definitely keep that in mind, Jonathan. If you can't wait to get your hands on these toys, you can purchase them at an average of a 100% increase on eBay.
Uber and Lyft are more popular than ever, which has led to even more traffic on the streets. The San Francisco Examiner has obtained a document for 8 zones around the city, from the Marina to the Inner Sunset and Fisherman's Wharf. There may be only 4 Lyft and Uber drivers to pick up and drop off their passengers. This is to reduce traffic accidents and dangerous double parking. One street will be chosen as a test street before the next decision will be taking place. Talk about reducing accidents in the traffic. For Uber cyclists, the latest protection is of hovering, a helmet with an airbag. Clara Tellenthrope tells us more.
The traditional helmet has got competition. The invisible helmet called Hövding for urban cyclists has been invented. It's an airbag that inflates in an event of accident. Carl Linder owns a Hövding, which he uses every day.
I have a Hövding because it's a more effective alternative to a bicycle helmet. It is going to break when you fall, but a Hövding is just going to cover your entire face and head.
Carl Linder thinks Hövding is a great idea, but how safe is it? The software engineer Thomas Ryfors tells us more about it.
According to a Stanford study, it's 8 times safer than a traditional helmet.
A Hövding is made of an ultra-strong nylon and it weighs 1.5 pounds. It consists of an airbag, a gas tube and an electronic unit. But how does it work?
I wear it around my neck, like a collar, and I put it like this, and I have a zipper that I must pull all the way up. Now I have prepared this Hövding with special software that will inflate after 20 seconds. Have my assistant activate this Hövding, but before I shall use these earplugs. And this is a trigger inflation, and 20 seconds feel very long now. Ow!
If you want to find out more, visit their website hövding.com. In San Francisco, I'm Claire Tellenthrope for Urban Nights Update.
If you're interested in getting one, it costs $300 on their website. But if you don't want to pay that much, Amazon has one for $80. There's a lot going on in the tech world. Let's go to Shirley Pan for this week's special segment.
We hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving weekend. It's safe to assume many of us bought something from Amazon during the Black Friday sales. Well, we just helped make Jeff Bezos a $100 billion man. Bezos is the founder and largest shareholder of Amazon, and according to Bloomberg, he just reached the 12-digit milestone. He owns nearly 79 million shares of Amazon, but that doesn't account for all his holdings. The other high-profile companies he owns include The Washington Post and the space tourism company Blue Origin. Bezos passed Bill Gates in July, earning the title of world's richest person. While things are going well for Amazon in America, they're running into a little trouble in Italy. Over 500 Amazon employees are on strike during possibly the busiest shopping day of the year. This is their first ever strike over pay at Amazon's warehouse near Milan. With 4,000 people, the warehouse is Amazon's main Italian hub. Regarding the strike, Amazon said in a statement, quote, "The vast majority of our employees in Italy and Germany came to work and remained focused on delivering the best customer service." Though e-commerce is growing fast in Italy, online sales in Italy only account for 10% of overall retail sales. E-commerce in Italy might not be taking off, but the new Tesla might be. Last week, Tesla unveiled a new sports car. According to the automaker, it can go from 0 to 60 miles an hour in 1.9 seconds. This broke the record for the quickest accelerating production car. But that's not the best part, which is that it might be able to fly. Tesla CEO Elon Musk has been tweeting about a special option package for the new sports car, hinting that it might be able to fly short hops. Is that a dream? Perhaps not. A number of companies are working on flying cars, which amount to roadworthy airplanes that could legally be driven on streets. Moving on, Uber discloses something they should have a long time ago. Late 2016, 2 hackers broke into the company and stole personal data of 57 million Uber users. The data included phone numbers, email addresses, names, and 600,000 driver's license numbers of drivers for the company. It was required by law that the company alert users and authorities to the breach, but instead, Uber paid the hackers $100,000. It's possible Uber will face legal issues from both state and federal agencies. California, where Uber is headquartered, is one of 48 states that have security breach notification laws, which require companies to disclose when hackers access private information. This is not the only legal trouble Uber is facing. They're being fined nearly $9 million in Colorado. The Colorado Public Utilities Commission will fine Uber for allowing drivers with disqualifying criminal or motor vehicle offenses to drive for the company. Some drivers did not have valid licenses and others used fake names. In one case, a previously escaped felon passed a background check with an alias. The commission revealed that there are violations listed for 57 Uber drivers, and of half of them shouldn't have passed a background check. Uber is being fined $2,500 per day each day a disqualified driver worked. Apart from Uber, there are certainly other ways to get around. Public buses is one of them. Across the pond, London buses are being powered by coffee. BioBean is a British startup that has partnered with Shell and Argent Energy to create a coffee-based biofuel to be used in London's diesel buses. The startup extracts coffee oil from dried coffee grounds collected from cafes, restaurants, and factories. They have produced 6,000 liters, which is enough to help power the equivalent of one city bus for a year. It'll be used for the pilot project with London's Transportation Authority. That's all we have on tech today. Thank you for joining me, and back to you.
Thanks, Shirley. We may need some of those buses here in the Bay Area, as there have been new Warriors fans that are hopping on the bandwagon, as the team is looking to repeat as NBA champions. I was able to catch these fans in action at Oracle Arena. Golden State Warriors basketball is finally back, and Warriors fans are excited to see if their team can repeat as NBA champions. The fan base is excited, as there have also been new Warriors fans who have decided to hop on the bandwagon, but not Pat Lamuki, as he is the definition of a true fan.
So I've been a Warriors fan since I was a little kid, probably since I was 8 or 9 years old. I remember going to games with my father back in the days. I even remember the 1975 championship series. Season ticket holder for the last 13 years with a group of buddies. Since the Warriors have really been making their championship push is when I've noticed the change in the fan base. Over the last, I'd say, 12 or 13 years, way back to the We Believe years, you knew that those fans were there every game. No one sold their tickets. They came to see their team. Since the team has won the last 3 years, I've noticed around my sections different faces that I never realized and recognized before.
Even though there were a lot of Warriors fans hopping on the bandwagon, Clay, Curry, and the rest of the Warriors organization doesn't seem to mind, as they've had over 230 consecutive sellouts, and many fans are excited.
This year, it's going to be the same as last year. We're going to just steamroll through it.
I started following the Warriors in about 2015, after they won the championship. I think we're going for a repeat this year. And then when you win, you get prizes like this, you know, because everybody's a winner in the end.
The Warriors may have signed new fans as well, but you can never beat an authentic fan.
One game, and a loose ball came, both guys came scrambling, the ball came to me on the court out of bounds, and those guys stopped 2 feet right in front of me and started staring at each other and started talking you-know-what to each other. While I had the basketball in me, I bounced past the basketball to the referee, these guys broke it up, and they walked away, and I left awestruck and said, live basketball is where it's at.
In Oakland, California, I'm Anthony Silva, and this is your Urban Knights Update. For the latest on AAU sports, let's slide into sports with Alma Telthenthrop.
Hello everybody, Christmas is around the corner and most of the AAU sports teams are preparing for next semester. Softball just got their schedule and will start off in the middle of January. And the tennis team will play University of Pacific on January 26th. And on January 28th, they will face Seattle. The team has had a tough preseason without any coach, but that doesn't seem to stop them from reaching the goal to play national later on in April.
This fall has been very tough because we didn't have a coach, but I think this grew us a lot together, and as a team we could manage it because we're kind of all in this together, and this made us very strong mentally as well as physically for getting into season and getting into nationals. Yeah, and I think it made us very strong that we can manage it together.
But we still have two teams that are in the middle of their seasons. While some of us ate turkey during others were out on the court fighting for the first win. AU's men's basketball team headed off to Riverside, California to play the final tournament of the non-conference schedule during the Thanksgiving weekend. In the first game, they faced St. Martin's, and even though Cameron Nevin and Kendall Brown did a great job, a career first double-double, respective career best 22 points, it didn't take them all the way. The Knights lost 67-77. But after rain comes sunshine. In the next match, the Knights took the battle against Missouri S&T. A strong beginning took them all the way to the first win of the season, with the game ending at 70-50. Head coach Julius Barnes is very proud of the guys and said, quote, "They were locked in defensively, did an outstanding job on the boards and made pace for each other on the offensive end." Next game for the Urban Knights is at Azusa Pacific on the last day of November. With an even slower start is the women's basketball team still fighting for the first win of their season. During Thanksgiving, they crossed the border to Washington, Canada for 3 games, facing Simon Fraser, St. Martin's and the host, Western Washington. But unfortunately, it didn't go in the right direction for Urban Knights, who had to return back home empty-handed. The streak is 0-6, but hopefully the turn will come. So let's cross our fingers for the next game that is at Azusa Pacific University the same day that's the men's team's place, which is on the last day of November. Lastly, we will say congratulations to Academy of Arts volleyball senior Bailey Stolzma, who was awarded All Pacific West Conference Team Honorable Mention. This honor goes to validate her work ethic and serve as a role model for others in our program, says head coach Ray Batalon. Looking ahead to spring sports, reporter Chris Petrosi talked with RTU baseball player Taylor Martins to get a sneak peek into this year's team.
Thank you. With us today we have Taylor Martin, shortstop senior for the Urban Knights baseball team. And welcome today, Taylor.
Thank you, Chris.
With your baseball season approaching, do you see a difference between last year's team and this year's team?
This year's team is much more, I feel, just excited and ready to get after it. I'm not giving anything to last year's team. Last year's team was great, especially coming in. But I think this year's team has a little bit more, I mean, they're just working hard. They're excited to get on the field, and we've been pushing each other all fall. And once spring comes around, it's just going to be even more competitive, especially that the games are coming around.
Exactly, that's what you need for a young team and in the fall season.
Yeah.
And also, RTU announced that they hired a new pitching coach, Jimmy Moyle. How has he kind of been with the guys this year?
Jimmy's been great. I mean, he's a high-energy kind of guy, especially coming from a Division I school. It's been helping because he's got that experience, knows where everything is at. So it's good to see him and even pushing the pitchers even more, new workout regime it seemed like. But overall, he helps everyone out. I'm excited to see him, excited to work with him this year.
Awesome. And the academy picked up some junior transfers again this year. Is there like a certain guy that you think the team will lean on this year?
This year, I mean, they're all really well-rounded players. They're exciting. They're athletic. They're fast. But I mean, they all have a good role. I mean, they each can come in, do something special for the team, help it contribute, and make us win. So I mean, I wouldn't say anyone special, but I think up the middle. Now that I'm playing short, Bear Smith. He's a talent. I mean, he's fast, he's a good fielder, he can hit, and so it's exciting to work with him. But all of the guys I'm excited to watch play and be a part of this upcoming season with.
Mm-hmm. And you're a senior this year, man. Like, do you have any goals for yourself to throw out this year?
I just want to go out and have excitement with the team. I don't think any personal goals. I just want to have fun this last year with all the other seniors. Experiencing it is just a joy. Hopefully make playoffs, which would be a huge thing for our program.
Of course, yeah.
So I'm excited to see that and just get started.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any predictions for this year's team?
I'm hoping playoff bound, more than 20 wins than we had last year, and make it to that D2 World Series.
And I hope it works out for your team this year.
Yeah, thanks.
So that's all the time we kind of have today. And I appreciate it. Thank you, Taylor, for your time.
Chris. Thank you.
And back to you guys.
Thanks, Chris and Taylor. That wraps up the sports for this week. Back to you.
Thanks, Alma. This year's Grammys is around the corner, and some star-studded artists have dominated the nomination list. Jay-Z, Kendrick Lamar, Bruno Mars, and Childish Gambino have been selected for most awards and will be competing for Album of the Year. Among these artists, Bruno Mars and Jay-Z will be competing for Record of the Year and Song of the Year as well. The 60th annual Grammys will be on television on January 28, 2018. With more on entertainment, let's join Lucius. Let's see for more.
Hi, welcome to this week latest entertainment. After Thanksgiving, we are about to enter the latest month of this year. The major website and the magazine has started their awards. Recently, Forbes published the list of the highest earning female singers of this year. Beyonce was number 1. Her formation world tours was at $105 million. Its attention to the music video Lemonade. This followed by British singer Adele. As a recently, early this year, Taylor Swift attended the final turns for this year. She dropped in ranking from the first to third. However, Taylor is a new urban reputation stacked back strong with a new round of the silence next year. Sales recording from last week show that reputation earned more than $1.5 million. That's just 1 week. And the Billboard website says that Reputation has become her 4th album with a million-selling week. That makes her become the first singer in the history to have a 4 album with a million-selling week. We believe Taylor Swift will bring more surprise to fans in the next. Justin Bieber took the time to make a 2-minute commercial recently. This commercial has his song friends and singing and dancing to a girl listening to his song. This takes a lot of fans think that is a music video, but it's just a Germany commercial for T-Mobile. Either way, fans are very happy about it. Do you remember Pikachu who talked like a man in the series Pokemon? Well, we will see starring in the new movie that's shown in the theater November 5th. Take a look.
What's that? Oh, Pikachu, someday we'll both meet that Pokemon. Pikachu!
Hollywood will be producing a live-action movie, Detective Pikachu. Pikachu's voice will be selected from Dwayne Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, also with Marky Mark and Hugh Jackman. Many Pikachu fans have already prepared all the tickets. The movie is also going to be 3D for more of a visual experience. Let's take it back to the Pokemon Go game that almost everyone played last year. Nintendo recently came up with $200 million to create a magical world called Harry Potter Go. If you are Harry Potter fans and want to unlock this magical world, all you will need is a smartphone. This game should be arrived in 2018. That's all we have this weekend. Thank you for watching and see you next time.
Christmas is just around the corner. Putri Tanjun went out in the city to find about people's Christmas Eve traditions.
Well, when I was a kid, the Christmas Eve tradition was my mom and my sister and I would go to church, go to the Christmas Eve candlelight service at church.
So for Christmas Eve, I have dinner with my family and then we open presents.
My Christmas Eve tradition is hanging out and drinking and playing games.
Where I grew up, which was a little Scandinavian town in Minnesota, the tradition was to get together Christmas Eve and have a dinner that included lutefisk and lefse, and if you don't know what that is, it's too bad.
So because it's a holiday, it's a really nice time to get all of our family and little cousins together and have a little party.
We always wore new pajamas, so we went to bed in new pajamas.
With my family, we always we open gifts together. It's my family combined with my aunt's family, and we also do stockings together.
And that wraps up this edition of Urban Nights Update. For everyone here, thanks for joining us. I'm Anthony Silva.
And I'm Sterling Hawkins. See you back next week. Have a great weekend.